Hi, this is Miranda with Magick.city.mama, and today I wanted to do a sort of brand highlight of a brand that I've had in my collection for quite a while, and I actually think I have enough things to do like a complete or almost complete brand highlight. And that brand is going to be Danessa Myricks Beauty, and I have actually a lot of things, and I'm not going to be able to use all of it today. Especially because I'm going to work and I can't put on, or I don't want to put on so many sparkly things for work, and a lot of her stuff is very, very shiny, very pretty, fun, and sparkly. So I'm just gonna do, what I can, and then maybe try to just show you the rest of the stuff that I have. So sorry, I'm just going through everything I have here. And hopefully this is everything, more or less. It's not all the colors, but okay. So I have two foundations from Danessa Myricks. I have the Yummy Skin Serum Foundation in the color 5G like the phone, and I have the Vision Cream in the color 2.75. This one is very high coverage. Like when I ordered this on Sephora, I had no idea that it was gonna be this like little tiny container, and I was like so confused by that. And but when I actually use it, I realized like why could be this small. And what I actually ended up using this for more was to mix with other foundations that weren't as high coverage and that were a little bit more liquidy, and I would mix this in to make them a little more high coverage. I have the Danessa Myricks powder in the color yellow. This one is a little bit dark for me, I think. I have this, which I don't use, in the color light 2. This is the, what is this called exactly? I don't know, but this is like a contour or a bronzer. I'm not quite sure, but it's too yellow for me, so I never like the color. And the funny thing is, like a lot of YouTubers I've seen that have this, nobody likes the color. So the color to me is too yellow. It's too off to really use as a contour, and I'm really too light for that as well right now. I have the Dewy Cheek and Lip palette in the pinks and the coral colors. I forgot which one this one is. And I have a bunch of the what are these called again? I'm so sorry. The color fixes, and a nice little variety of colors, including black, so you can always do eyeliner with this. And I have the lip cheek, the Vision Flush is for lip, cheeks, or eyes in the color Bread and Butter, which reminds me a lot of one of my the new Rare Beauty blush I got, and I'll show you the difference. I don't know if you could see, but it's kind of similar. I have a bunch of the Twin Flames. Sorry, I keep them in the box, but these are the colors I have. And I have a bunch of the holographic or the dual chrome eyeliners, and these I actually like for just the inner corner, because for some reason I always have such, excuse me, Ash, my cat wants to say hi. Hi. The lights are too bright for him, I think. Because sometimes I have a hard time just keeping that inner corner nice and neat. And then I have the Yummy Skin Balm, which I haven't used much because it was like when I try to use it, I just saw like it like gathered a little bit around my dry spots, like around my nose. But today I'm gonna try to use it as a primer, because I don't have her primer, even though I have tried the Juice Boost primer, I think it's what it's called, and I have liked it. And then I have a couple of the Chrome Flakes, which these are really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to start with the, oh, actually I said I was going to start with the Yummy Skin Balm. Now I have the color 1. I didn't get translucent, so I want to see how this works as a primer. I'm going to take the little scooper, which is really nice. It's a nice little heavyweight copper scooper. Oh, and I just hit pan. I didn't even realize. And gonna use my brush, warm it up on the back of my hand, and this color is very light. So I think maybe too I got the wrong color. I probably should have tried the translucent. This is kind of a multitasking product that, to be honest with you, I just never got that. See, right here, I really just don't like what it does around my nose, and I do have moisturizer on, so it's not that. All right, now I'm going to take the foundation on my hand. I'm going to put the brush in it. This foundation I like. It's glowy, but for me, I don't find that it's like shiny. I think some people have complained that it's a bit shiny. But I just find it to be glowy. Now it's a medium to full coverage, and I find it to be a little bit more on the full side, but dewy. So it's like a full coverage, medium to full, more on the full side, coverage dewy foundation. And I've actually never worn these two products together. So I find that you have to kind of go fast with some of these products. Now, see, I'm not sure if I like those two products together. Something about the Yummy Skin. I feel like the Yummy Skin, what I would like it to do based on the consistency of it is to fill in my pores, and instead what I find that it does is it seeps into and exaggerates my pores, which is the exact opposite of what I would want and what I would expect from a product that looks like that and feels like that. So it's really strange. That's why I just never like got into it. Like, everybody was like, oh, the new thing, and this thing can do like 20 things. It can make your coffee and vacuum your rug and all this stuff. And I found like it was like so many things, like I couldn't even figure out the thing that it was really good at. All right, so there's the foundation. What I think I may do actually is use this today as a concealer, because this is a foundation slash concealer. So I put a little on the back of my hand. I'm gonna take my brush and just use it to conceal my under eye area. So I don't know what it is lately, but I have been watching so much stuff about, you know, I like to watch, you know, metaphysical stuff, and sometimes that goes into like physics, spirituality, and ET kind of stuff, you know. I've been watching like so many things about like aliens lately, and I was watching this other podcast, and it was like a psychic, and he was making his predictions for 2023, and I don't know, I feel like 2023 is going to be like another crazy year based on predictions and whatnot, but a lot of psychics are saying like this is going to be the year that we are going to really know and see or get a visit, or it's going to be like out there that the ETs, you know, extraterrestrials, whatever they are gonna come. I mean, I find that really interesting. I don't even know like what I think about that. There's so many theories about what ETs are, like whether they're like interdimensional beings or they're like from other planets, and like, you know, maybe they learned how to harness the nature of quantum mechanics and physics in order to project themselves from wherever they are in our galaxy to anywhere else that they want in the blink of an eye. Like they're not even bound by the speed of light because of quantum entanglement, which, you know, that would be really cool. Yeah. And I was watching this thing, like, speaking of physics and spirituality, like, I just find it very interesting how, like, physics is sort of catching up to a lot of esoteric and especially Eastern philosophy about the nature of reality. You know, like reality being like non-localized, this reality being more of an illusion, not really the true nature of things. And I think physics and science is actually catching up to that now. And I was watching not a metaphysical show, but I was watching an actual, see, this is the powder. And the powder, you know, may be nice and finely milled or whatnot, but this color, it's yellow. And it stays yellow. That's the thing. It doesn't brighten on my skin, which I've used yellow powders before, but I think this is too dark of a yellow, where it almost makes me look jaundiced. Like the color yellow I've used before, I think was more of a pastel. Like, I don't know if anybody remembers like T. Leclerc, which is like a French brand, and it used to come in a silver tin, and they have like a banana powder, which is like a really old school. Like this is like 20 years ago or so. And that was like the first banana powder I ever used, but I believe that was like a pastel yellow, not this yellow. And so it did brighten my pale skin. This, I think, makes me look yellow. Okay. But you know, the funny thing is, even though this foundation is pretty full medium coverage, I can still see my skin underneath. It's not like completely covered my skin up. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I was watching not a metaphysical show, but a physics show. And it was talking about like higher dimensions and how like beings in lower dimensions perceive higher dimensions. All right, so I'm going to use the Vision Flush. It comes like this, and I'm gonna make a couple of little dots. And how creatures from the lower dimensions perceive things from higher dimensions, and how it was really funny. They used the donut. How things, objects, that, oof, a little goes a long way, huh? How objects from higher dimensions that are one object can appear like multiple objects to beings that are in lower dimensions. And they specifically used a donut to show this. So a donut is 3D. Obviously, a donut in our reality is a three-dimensional object, and it's one object. But if you put the donut down on a two-dimensional plane, and as the donut goes through the two-dimensional plane, at one point the donut will look like two circles like that, to the beings that are living in the two-dimensional plane. So even though the true nature of the donut is a single object, to the creatures living on the lower plane, it will seem like multiple objects. And I just thought that was so, like, I don't know why that struck me like so intensely, because like, you know how they say the true nature of reality is like consciousness, and we're like a monad and like all part of one mind, and it's just like we are like refractions, like pieces of the hologram, just trying to experience itself. And I thought, you know, like, if there's infinitely higher levels of reality, higher dimensions, and probably in each of those higher dimensions, the higher you go, the more of a singularity that the nature of reality is, you know, the more closed it gets, or not closed, but the more it folds in on itself, where it's like one thing all the way up here in this infinite dimension, like that's super, I don't want to say far, because I don't think that's how dimensions really work. I think they're just different levels stacked upon each other. But to us, all the way down here in dimension 3, it to us, it seems like all these different personalities, these different people, these different egos, like everything looks very separate to us, because we're just looking at something that's coming from a higher dimension. It's projecting into our dimension, and from our vantage point, it looks like a multiple of things, when really the truth is that it's only one thing. And I don't know why, like, I feel like that I finally kind of just, you know, you have that little light bulb moment where you kind of like finally understand. Like, I think the actual physics of it. Now, I don't have a Danessa Myricks eyebrow pencil. Does she make eyebrow pencils? I have no idea. I think just like hearing the physics, like the science explanation of it, you know, I think something in me just clicked, like, because I had, you know, like, I'm into spirituality and esoteric and whatnot, and like I've heard, you know, I've thought about that before, and I've heard about it, and I've read about it, and I've watched videos about it, but I think seeing the actual science behind it, like, something in me clicked, and it just made sense. You know, like, I was just like, okay, like, I get it. I see how this is actually physically possible, and it's part of the laws of physics. Being a single being, being a refraction of a single being, and just seeing it from this perspective makes us think that we're a multiplicity of beings. It kind of makes sense now to me. All right, so this is the, sorry, I don't know, like, maybe the lighting looks a little harsh, because in person it doesn't look so bad actually, but I feel like in the camera it looks a little less smooth. But this is what I have so far, and I don't have a highlighter. I don't think I really need one. See, this is all I have. I have this, and this is probably going to be a little too dark for me. So what am I going to do for my eyes today? I think because I'm going to the office, I'm just going to do something really simple. I'll probably use this as like a base color. Yeah, so I thought that was cool. Like, finally really being able to like visualize what the true nature of reality may actually be through kind of a mix of spirituality and physics. All right, so this is also another product. Like, I feel like all of her products are like, a little goes a long way. I don't have any eye primer on. I don't think you really need it. Okay, and this is not blended out. This is the Kajara Waist Cream Eyeshadow Brush. Oh, and another thing that they're saying, like in physics, like, you know how there was always like this debate of like, if you have a table in a room and you leave the room, does the table still exist? If nobody's there to observe the table, does the table actually really exist, right? That's kind of like if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound? That kind of thing. That's like an even older analogy. And I need to look into this more, but I think the new consensus, which I think it was like the new Nobel Prize winners have discovered, is that reality is non-local. So I think what that means is that the table does not exist in reality when nobody is there to observe it. So something, I feel like something about consciousness, like it has to, reality almost like has to be observed in order to actually exist. So this goes back to like the holographic nature of reality, creating our reality and all that. So this is something I want to explore more. So I can't really talk on it too much because I'm just like, you know, like I've heard the theories before, but I didn't know if it was like just intellectual debate or if it was something like that was really, really true. But yeah, I find that so interesting. So like the table does not have a place in reality if it's not being observed. So that means that the table is actually coming from somewhere else. It's non-local. So we are seeing a version of the table being projected from another place in reality. Very, very, very interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you know, like I'm really just a layman, like an average person with average intelligence. So like these theories are like mind-blowing and like very complex in a way. And you know, I'm not saying it right, and you know what I mean. Like, feel free to correct me in the comments, or if you know any good videos, because I do like watching videos, especially ones that are like a little bit more simple, like people take complex information and like dumb it down for the rest of us, like those scientists. All right, so this is the look, non-blended. I have to soften up the brush sometimes, it gets a little crusty. And I have my switch here, so I'm trying to clean the brush because I want to diffuse the edges, which I may have to use my sponge for. All right, so here is the little part that's a little more tricky because now she's dried down. I think what I'm going to have to do is use the sponge and diffuse the edges, because see, this when I lay it down, it has very hard edges, but you know, this product does not budge. Oh my goodness, my cat wants to come in. Hold on one second. Okay, so I let my cat in. He was like so desperate to come in because whatever was happening in here was just like so exciting and enticing for a cat. He had to be let in. I think I'm gonna have to, as I said, this stuff dries down pretty fast, but I'm going to go in and like stipple the edge over here. And I think that's helping. I'm sure this kind of stuff would be great for like the stage, bright lights, etc. Because these products are not going to move. They're not going to budge. They're probably sweat proof, heat proof, whatever proof. Okay, so for the line, let me do the bottom. All right, sorry about that. Now he wants to go out again. Typical cat. Typical cat behavior. You let them in, they want to go out. You let them out, they want to come in. All right, so I'm taking a little liner brush and I'm gonna line the bottom lashes. Oh, you know what else I do have of Danessa Myricks? I do have a highlighter. I have her palette. Hold on. This is one of the hazards of having a very large makeup collection, because then you kind of forget what you have and what you don't have. And sometimes you just like forget to use things. Ta-da! This is the Lightworks Volume 3. This is the one that I have. I decided that, you know what, I didn't use this enough. Even though it's pretty, I didn't use it enough to warrant buying volume whatever 4 and 5. I guess they're on now. Let me take this one. Golden Eclipse. Solaris. I do want to add a little something to this eye look, and I don't know if I'm gonna do it through maybe one of these or one of these. Spring Equinox is probably green. Polaris is. All right, let me look, let me think. I'm not gonna swatch every single thing because I just don't have time for that. But here is, this one is called Star Ruby. And that's pretty. I think the color goes well with these colors. That might be a winner. The other one I have here is Angel Hair, which I think is going to be a little lighter pink. It looks like pink and green and white reflex. Yeah. I think it's Star Ruby. I'm going to put that in the center of the eye just to give it a little oomph, because I do think that when these dry down, they might dry down a little bit flat. My hair looks gray from the foundation. I don't have gray hair like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It just looks different for me. And then I'm going to just kind of diffuse the edges a little. Oh, another cool thing I was watching, so a couple things. So about the ETs. I don't know, there's a guy who like developed this special meditation that you can do if you want to communicate with aliens. But by communicate with aliens, I think it's mostly just like see pretty lights in the sky kind of thing. And you can do this meditation outside in a group. It's called C5 or CE5. And I'm not gonna lie, I looked it up and I tried it. But I went about my business. Like I wasn't really like outside, and I wasn't like constantly being out checking outside to see if I saw anything. And I didn't see anything when I checked. But then like a couple nights ago, I did have a dream. So I don't know if that was just like my brain just wanting to see something, and so it manufactured it for me. But I did have a dream that I saw these weird like biological UFOs, like these weird wonky lights in the sky, and there was like a couple of them, and I was like pointing them out, and I don't know, they weren't like discs, they were kind of like light blobs. I don't know, I thought that was funny. I don't know if it was just my mind, you know, wanting to have an experience. I have had dreams of aliens before in the past. Then I saw this other guy who was like some kind of government official or something. And I thought it was interesting because he said that they have developed, the US military / government. I need a different brush for the black. I'm doing the black now as the eyeliner. Has developed a hologram or holographic technology that can produce 3D like almost like touchable holograms in the sky to look like UFOs. And they have developed this technology in order to use it as kind of like a military ruse to, like, let's say they were going to put a bunch of these lights in the sky, and they would actually, I think they would appear on radar. I kind of forgot if they appear or they don't appear. They might appear somehow, to trick the other side into thinking that they are under attack. And so he says that a lot of these things are that. A lot of these lights are just them, as in the government, tricking people because they're testing out their technology. And apparently, like, when you see these lights in person, because they were showing people looking at holograms of flying of like butterflies and things like that, in person it looks like a solid object, though on camera it looks like blinking. It kind of has little flashes. So when you try to record it, it doesn't look as steady, but apparently to the naked eye it looks really good. So I just don't know what to believe sometimes. I think there's just so many theories about what these UEPs, I guess they're called now. They're not even called UFOs anymore. They're called UEPs, like what they are. And probably, like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of a little bit of everything. All of nothing. You know, there's more than one truth out there in a sense. Like, I guess on my lips, I'm going to, I don't know, I feel like this will be a little drying, but maybe I'll put this on and then put this on top. I also have this, the clear, which you can also use for that. So let's try it. I've never really used this on my lips before. It's funny because I feel like the color is looking very different on my lips than it looks on my cheeks. It's not as drying as I thought it would be. I don't know if it's because I have lip balm underneath. And this is how it looks. And if I wanted to, I could add this. If it did dry down, I could add a little of this. Let me see. I feel like this is gonna make it darker. Let me add maybe 2 colors. Not my favorite thing for my lips. I guess it'll do in a pinch if you only have one thing. My hand looks crazy. And the other thing that she does not have is mascara, so I'm just going to use my current favorite mascara, the RMS Straight Up Mascara. I'm gonna put that on. I didn't use the bronzer because I don't like it. Like, I really don't like the color, and I didn't want to. Oh, I didn't use the eyeliner either. I didn't want to be in a situation where I was stuck with this ugly color on my face. I think I need to fix that a little bit. Now, the cool thing I think about a lot of these products is if you are into customizing things, customizing, mixing, innovative formulas, I feel like that's where she's got the edge. Color selection, you know, colors are a little bit more unique, a lot of duochrome and multi-chrome colors. And I think also in the wear time, so for professionals, video editing, long wear, heat, humidity, I think she's got the edge there on a lot of other brands. This is the Straight Up Mascara. I really like it. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. Everybody's talking about the Tower 28 Make Waves, but I really actually like this one better. And I don't know if it's because I already have kind of naturally thick lashes. And I just like the way this really adds the volume. Sorry. And I think I'm just gonna, let me see. I want to add a little like shine to my lips. So I think I'm gonna take this that I put on my eyes because I didn't get the shine from the dewy product that I wanted, the kind of shine. So yeah, I think a lot of her products can be really mixed. And then I'm just gonna add a little glaze on top to make it more of a lip gloss. You can use the glaze on your eyes as well. And then for good measure, I want to add one of these. I think this one here. This one is color Rose Quartz. So yeah. I have hairy arms, so sorry. I don't always wax them. It is what it is. Once you get to a certain age, you just kind of like accept a lot of things about yourself. All right, so I'm going to show you, I like to use these in the inner corner. Okay. So I just need to brush out the foundation from my hair, but this is a full face of Danessa Myricks. I know nothing was really new. I didn't really use a highlighter. I just didn't want to use those colors. I wasn't sure if the highlighting colors would be a little too chunky, but if I did maybe Golden Eclipse. It's pretty, but I think it's just a little too glittery for work today, so I think I'm gonna skip that. But yeah, this is the full face of Danessa Myricks, and I hope you enjoyed the brand highlight and the crazy metaphysical physics ET talk today. If you enjoyed watching this video, it would be really awesome if you could subscribe and just give it a thumbs up and share. All right, bye, have a great day. Okay, so I'm on my way to work and I just wanted to check in real quick because when I went outside, it's daytime. It's like 10:20 a.m. but it's cloudy, and just so you know, full disclosure of what the lighting is like. But this is natural lighting, and I feel like the makeup actually is looking really good. This is the Danessa Myricks, full face of Danessa Myricks, with the yummy skin and the powder and everything, and a little bit of the vision cream. So this is how she looks.